Hey guys, Rich from Richmond Gaming. Hope everyone is doing fantastically well. Apologies for the very, very croaky voice. I've had back-to-back meetings. Plus, over the last few weeks, all I've been doing is playing Shatterpoint and having Quinn shout at me. Yes, guys, it is here. We have our Star Wars Shatterpoint core box. This is not the core box. It's very, very heavy. It's really, really, really well put together, guys. I've spent this evening even. I've been building up all of the minis. So we've got the likes of Kalani. That's not going to show up, is it? Who we're probably going to be painting up on a live stream as well. The absolute bane of my life, guys. B1 battle droids. Oh my word. They are a pain. They are an absolute pain to put together. But other than that, everything else was super, super easy to do. Really, really good. I'm doing all of this. A big shout out to Neil at Leodis Games. He has not gifted me, but he's bestowed upon me the demo core box. So I'm getting this all built up for them, ready to be able to do some hopefully awesome demo games over at look at the there we go, Phil. There we go. So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to head on over. It sounds like I'm in an auditorium. Oh, let me have a look at that. It may be. There we go. Hopefully that's better. My window was open. So we're going to head on over to the other camera, and yeah, we're going to start to build this. I don't know if we'll get through it all. There's quite a lot of terrain, but yeah, let's jump over to the other camera and let's take a look at what we've got. I'm going to have to get up and move and walk around. So yeah, let's head on over and see what we have got, and I'll maybe even show you the figures in a little bit more detail as well. So yeah, guys, we've got a lot of plastic, a hell of a lot of plastic. We've got our trusty Tamiya cement. I prefer the normal cement rather than the extra thin. I use extra thin on models, but for terrain pieces, I do much prefer the normal Tamiya cement. It's just that little bit thicker. So yeah, it's just what I prefer. All of the instructions are up online. I mean, they're all fairly simple and straightforward, but there's a lot of terrain in here, as you can see. So I just want to make sure that I am doing it all right, basically. So without further ado, let's jump on and make a start putting this terrain together. And I'm going to apologise, guys. Let me just move my... let me just get some light going on over there. And just move this around. There we go. That's a little bit better. So I'm going to apologise in advance. I don't have enough devices, and I'm at the opposite end of the office, studio, workshop, whatever it is you want to call it. So I'm not going to be able to see all of your messages all of the time, but I will be checking them sporadically. So yeah, just bear with me on that one. Give me 1 second, guys, just while I set this up. Not very professional, is it? So unprofessional, Quinn. So unprofessional. Where the hell is... There we go. Hope everyone's had a good week so far. I know it's only Tuesday. It does feel like it's... it does feel like it is a little bit later in the week than that. I'm not used to having all of these... just check up. Isn't it in the Dooku pack? Disappointed there's no gonk droid in the core. Yeah, there is no gonk droid in the core, Quinn. Reading more about how terrain works makes me want a map with a zipline ingress point in the middle. I mean, there is literally nothing stopping you doing it, troll. And I do quite like that idea. So starting off then, it says to make all of these gantries. So just to give you guys an idea, there is an absolute bucket load of plastic, plus there's some off screen there as well that you can't see. So it does say to start with these gantries. So let's do that. Let's move everything else out of the way. We've got little boxes and ingress points there in the form of ladders. So let's get these out of the way and let's start putting these together. So how do we do this? Okay, so they all just basically join together, and then we put some pieces on the end. That's fairly straightforward. So yeah, let me know, guys. How has it been? Have you guys managed to get much or many games in on TTS of Shatterpoint? Have you been lucky enough to get your core box yet? Let me know in the chat, and I will jump back on and take a look at the comments. So I think we just clip these out. And what I always do with terrain, guys, just so you're not worried, is once I finish building the terrain, I then take off any mold lines and things like that. I often find with terrain, they tend to not be as prominent, and they often don't matter as much. But if there are some bad ones, if there are bits that need filing down or shaving back, I do it once everything's built, purely because I am not sitting here with my hobby knife and putting together all of these, because I think as we see here, let's have a little look. So these go together like so. So you even see like the bits there where we've clipped them off, they're actually going to be covered. So these are going to go like this. So let's get out the Tamiya cement, and let's start putting these together. So just a line on here, here, and here. And then that literally, I think, just slots in there like so. I do have some clamps if we need it, but I don't think we will. Same again. So it looks like we're going to get 2 of these walkway gantries, which is fine. I think that's okay. What I'm planning on doing with my own is I'm probably going to basically use them to build some other types of terrain. I still, guys, haven't yet decided what on earth I want to do in terms of my first terrain board. This is actually the board that I've got underneath here. You can actually see I've got the markings. I don't know if you can see actually, but I've got the markings already out. So I measured where the points were, where the objectives were going to be, but I haven't got any further with it yet. I'm sort of bouncing at the moment between doing the Jabba, doing the Hut homeworld. Is it Nal Hutter? I think it's a moon even, because it's very sort of cyberpunky, which I do quite like. Lots of neon lights and things like that, and it means you can have a massive statue of one of the huts in the middle, which I do quite like the idea of. Quinn says, if the instructions aren't necessary, just open the stream on the tablet. Well, that's what I'm doing, Quinn. That's what I've got. That's what I've got it open on now, as you can probably see just there. Look, but with I do have a bag. I'm not throwing these on the floor, by the way, guys. I do have a bag next to me. This box, by the way, guys, is absolutely jam-packed. Look under, there's an ongoing joke with MCP in that every single new player used to ask the same question, which was, where were the rest of the cars? And they were always underneath the flaps. There is so much stuff underneath the flaps on this game that, yeah, you definitely need to check and make sure. I suppose, guys, what you could actually do with these, you get quite a bit of flexibility. So if you just wanted one big gantry, then that's more than possible to do. So if you just wanted this as one huge walkway, you could do that. If you wanted it as 4 separate walkways, you've also got that option as well, which I think is quite high. Nal Shadar, which is a moon of... That's the one, Quinn, yeah. That is the one. So let's have a look then. So we've got the 2 together like that. And then we need 004, 005, which I think are going to be on here. So yeah, all of these are 04s apparently. They are indeed. So these are going to go on. Let's just clip all these off in turn. Should have probably put some nice music on or something, guys, shouldn't I? Make your own music. You can put your own music on in the background. I may have to go and open my window in a little bit, guys, because it is quite warm. So let me just check these here. So are we building these to? Are we putting these together? Okay, yeah. So they do go together. So the 04s and the 05s do go together. I don't think I've ever done a build on live stream before. I was going to record it, but then that means editing it, and I didn't want to. Is the brutal, honest answer. So let's have a look then how these are going to attach. It looks like they're going to go like this, but they seem a bit weird. Okay. So they go together like that. And these are going to be like the railings then that go on here. Interesting. So I gather these could be optional because these are going to stop you getting pushed off these points. So what I might do is I might leave these as 4 at the moment and then build all these little rail things up as well. And then just choose whether or not I want to have them on there, because it would actually stop you because they'd be ridged. So what I mean is, so if we look at it like this, right now, you could push a character off there. But if these are on there at the end, that's going to stop you from being pushed off. So I'll maybe take a look at that and decide, once we've got some of the other parts built, whether or not that's something that we want for this one. So whilst I'm doing this repetitive stuff, let's go back and check the... you read my tablet suggestion ages ago, only read it then to make it seem like your idea. I know your tricks. What do you mean where? That's still a common question in the Facebook group. Mate, it really, really is. It still gets asked so many times in the Facebook group. Where are the cars for Marvel Crisis Protocol? Most common asked question ever. I think I even included it as like, I did a beginner's guide not that long ago for 2023, because now there's so much stuff for MCP that's changed that the core box can be quite daunting if you don't know what is and isn't legal and all that kind of good stuff. So I think I even did a video, and the bonus bit at the end was, oh, and don't forget your cars are under the flaps. The entire battlefield is one giant train. Could be. They also block having a 90-degree connection with another gantry. Would definitely leave some of that. Yeah, so that's what. So what I'm going to do, Harumph, is I'm kind of going to build all the different components first, and then once we've got an idea of what we can do and how we can make the battlefield, I'll then put it together afterwards, basically, just so we've got some flexibility in there, because yeah, there is the potential to want to be able to do that. And as I mentioned, guys, I know I'm clipping these off quick. I will be I will be going around and I will be sorting all of these out prior to them being painted. I will definitely not be painting them tonight. And I just lost my first round of the MCP TTS League as well, which was fun. I mean, and it actually was a really fun game. Very, very close. Very, very close. Let's clip this off whilst we're here. So I believe this isn't a Lo-Cat. In fact, let's not clip that off because we're going to lose that. So it looks like a Lo-Cat from Lethal, from Rebels. But I believe they said it was a generic species. If anyone knows a species. Fastest clipper in the West, mate. Absolutely. And this is why I like the... Not because I'm a fast clipper. But this is why I like the thicker stuff for doing terrain. Just the normal Tamiya. For me, it just has that little bit more hold. Well, not necessarily hold, but I think with terrain you can afford for it to be that little bit thicker. What did you play first round? First round, mate, Winter Guard, obviously. And I came up against Jaborf, player from Spain, very, very good player. Came up against his Inhumans. I took a early lead by 1 in the first round. He then used Terragenesis and scored 2 VPs, which put him 6-5 ahead. And then he bumped up all the way up to like 12 or 13 or something like that, I want to say. And then I managed to bring it back, so it was... what was it now? It was 14-15 to him going into the last round. And I think I misplayed it. I should have taken out one of his characters with Malekith, but instead I just tried moving him out of the way. He managed to get an attack off and it did damage, only 1 damage. If it hadn't done that 1 damage, then I'd have been okay, but yeah, just wasn't to be. Wasn't to be. So that is actually my TTS League over, guys, because I am on holiday as of Thursday evening. So I won't be around for next week, which means I'm then 4-2. So there's no point in playing, basically. Right, so we've got all of our little parts here. We're going to leave these as 4 individual ones for the moment. So let's put these to one side as well. Yeah, exactly. To be honest, I tried... Oh dear, Laura Browns. Right then, let's have a look and see what the next thing is that we are going to be doing. Come on, Safari. There we go. So we've done the gantries. So now we're going to do the tower, which is Q, which I'm hoping I sorted them all out into... I did. There we go. Excuse me. So these are all the Qs. So we need 04 and 01. Now I did see something on this, and it was not to snap and glue these together first. And the reason why was, once you did that, apparently the rest doesn't sit flush around them. So that is... Have we got two towers? Is that what it is? Are these 2 are the same? It looks like the 2 are the same. So let's do 2 at once. We've got to build it, so we may as well do it at the same time. Again, I am looking at the instructions at the moment, guys, so can't see your comments. I cannot see your comments. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is I use this foam board stuff here. So I've used to build all my other terrain things. And what I think I'm going to do is use some of these and sort of embed them in here. And I'm even thinking about making it sort of rocky, because I am still thinking about a Dathomir board if I do it rocky. So you basically, I can sink this in here like this and then build the rocks up around it, so it's like it's been built into the rock. But I haven't decided yet. Obviously, I can't do that with this box because it is the guys from Loyalist Games, so they they don't want it doing like that. So we then need 0, 2. Oh, sorry, yeah, 0, 2 and 0, 5. So we got 0, 2 here, which is going to be the side panel, and I think this is the part where it was recommended. I believe it was, let me think now. I believe it was Sarastra who did a little short on it. So we've got that and we've got that. Let's get it from the other one. Let's do them both at the same time. Yeah, I believe it was Sarastra that that mentioned it and said don't glue them down straight away. You'd be better holding off and snapping them and gluing them in afterwards. So we'll take his advice, because, you know, when he's one of the people that I do very much trust when it comes to hobbying. Let's put those two to one side there. Let's come back and just check your comments. So basically, these things snap together like so. We've then got the 2 at the side there, and then the 5 on the top there. And I think the problem is when you push them together, basically they just then stopped. And I don't actually think you even need these to be glued in, because everything else is going to be glued in around it. I popped in at the start there. Well, enjoy the vacation. You need to slide a part in. They have just updated the build instructions since the issues with the walls roof. It's only just kicked in how unnerving it is watching a right-hand person clip the... Oh, okay. That's interesting, Quinn. Yeah, I suppose if you're used to it being left-handed, then yeah, I imagine. So what it's saying now is to slide that in like so. That slide in underneath, or does it slide in on top? Let's have a little look. I mean, it feels like... Oh no, it does slide in underneath. Okay, interesting. Very interesting indeed. Okay, so let's do that then. Let's get... I always like to try and dry fit things first, just so you know that it all goes in as it should. I may need to trim a little bit of these down, and I don't know where my hobby knife is, so let's get demonetized on YouTube and bring out the Stanley knife instead. So let's just take off, because we know these are going to be on show. Let's just take off these top bits here. There we go. Okay, so they dry fit like that. Just get these side bits off, because I think they are stopping it from being quite as flush as we would want it to be. And let's cut off 3 as well at the same time, because we are going to be needing that. I suppose you can do one way around and one the other way around potentially as well. Just go back to your lovely comments. Your lovely, lovely comments. Why read instructions? Just glue stuff and regret the mistakes later. Oh yes, we've all been there, haven't we? We have all been there. There we go. Okay. So let's undo these now. We are going to pop in just a little dab on each. We're going to try and work quick so that this doesn't catch us out. It's going to be that way round. I don't mind being quite liberal with the glue. I always find the plastic to be a little bit harder on terrain than it is on there we go. So that's snapped in nicely there. Let's make sure it's nice and flush, and then we'll just line this here, this along here, and this along here. Force it in. Yeah, this is... Okay, I see what he's saying now, because if we look here, there we go. Let's just put a little dab just down here as well. Not that it'll need it, I don't think. Let's just grab the blue roll. Where do we put the blue roll? Grab that and just give that a little wiping up any excess. It just looks wrong, which I'm aware is entirely a me thing. I mean, yes, mate, it is. It absolutely is a you thing. Not sure how Google are with you having, when I say Google, I mean YouTube, obviously, having knives on streams. We'll find out, won't we? We will find out. There we go, guys. Okay. So yeah, definitely take care with the order that you do these, because if you glue them in and, you know, glue them in and leave them and clamp them together or anything like that, you are going to have some really, really big problems trying to get them in properly, because yeah, they are definitely a snug fit. I'd almost say that you could almost snap fit these together, it feels like, but we're not going to do that, obviously. So pop these in as well. Again, we're not going all the way in yet. We'll do that once we put the lid on. The lid. Bloody lid. Any of you guys, have you guys ordered or pre-ordered any of the terrain boxes? Is that something any of you guys are interested in? Let me know. Yeah, see, we are getting the same push back here as well. There we go. And again, we're going to work quick before all this glue dries. And a little bit on the edge there. Get our other one, turn it that way around so it's the right way round. In. And then we can snap it in. And then we can very quickly do the next piece. I do think, or I do like even the fact that the terrain is customizable to some extent, I suppose. I do like that, because it does mean that day one, even if people have just got the core boxes, it does mean that we'll just wipe off that excess there. I mean, it's fine. Once paint's on it, it is absolutely fine. So we will clean these up, guys, as well, because there is some little bits on top here and things like that. But that is them two together there. Quite nice and easy to do. What have we got now then? Q7, Q6. So these are going to be these, I'm assuming, little turrety things, not turrety things, like Q7. God, they've absolutely jam-packed these sprues, which is great for us, right? It means that we get more. But for anyone wondering, is the... Now I have to be very careful, because a minute ago, my partner was watching this. If anyone's wondering whether or not it's worth the £20 for the core box, no, if anyone's wondering whether it's worth that 165 price tag, I would say yes. Absolutely. There is so much terrain and other such things. We're just going to get all of these because I think we need them all. There's so much terrain and other such things in this box that it is absolutely worth the money. And I've actually just recorded a video doing the unboxing of it, which is why I'm building these up, because that'll be the final part of it will be the shot of all this together. But even if you're not interested in the terrain, you're easily going to be able to find somebody to take it off your hands, you know, and you could probably sell it for, you know, 50, 60 quid, something like that, which I know, you know, doesn't cover the whole cost of the box, but it does give you a good chunk of that money back. You know, if you do get the box, you know, one thing I would recommend is go and speak to your local gaming store, because any of them that are running Shatterpoint, which a lot of them are, it's a bandwagon that a lot of them are jumping on for damn good reason. It's Star Wars. That is something I believe I don't want to lose, so let's make sure we don't. You know, it's Star Wars, so it will be popular. There's absolutely no doubt about it. They're going to need terrain. So go and speak to your local gaming store. Ask them how much would they give you back. You know, you might even get, sort of $60, $70 back in store credit or something like that, which is pretty cool. You know, might buy your next character pack or whatever it may be. We are just going to do it on camera, Richard, you fool. We are just going to take off the edges here. That, I'm sure, is a delightful noise over stream. And there we go there. There we go there. I want to get the core box soon, but I also have the Marvel Zombie siding coming around the same time. Ah, okay. That's fair enough, Phil. I pre-ordered everything. I have a problem. Sean, it's not a problem. It's commitment, mate. That's the way that I like to see it. That is the way that I like to see it. It is commitment to the cause. Right, that's all them trimmed down. Put that one there. So basically, you've got two different sides of the struts here, as you can see. I keep saying strut. I don't know what they are. Like, I don't know. Struts, maybe that's the right terminology. Maybe it is not, but that's what we will call them. So we'll just put, again, all over on one side there. Oh, I've actually gone overboard there. You don't need it on that bit. And then they just go together like so. And again, so the way that, if anyone's not aware of why we use plastic glue, I always forget the name of it. It's like poly cement, I think it is. Something like that. Is super glue just like sticks them together. And it's quite strong, but it has the potential to snap off. The way that poly cement works is it actually melts the plastic. So you're bonding two pieces of plastic together. It's a much, much stronger bond. So the general rule of thumb is if it is on a sprue, use plastic glue. And if you haven't got any, I can highly recommend the Tamiya stuff. The little applicator brush is so much better than any of the... I've tried the Army Painter ones, I tried the Games Workshop ones, and they're all terrible because the little applicators that they've got, they dry up, they're not great. This thing is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Just makes it so much easier when you are when you're trying to apply it. And the thin is great for minis as well. We may never hear you again, Lo. I'll try that commitment line on my wife and see. Sean, do not name me. That is all I will say. Do not name me. Okay, so these are going to go this way around. And then these, I believe, are going to go onto the back like so. So let's get some more glue. I'm going to be as high as a kite by the time I've done these. Now we may need just to hold these in place for a couple of seconds, just while we, just while it sort of sets. And once again, guys, you've got some flexibility here with these towers, because we're going to have this one offset. So this is going to be offset to the side of this, but there's no reason why you couldn't have them, you know, fully stacked up. Put this one in here. Give that one a hold. It only takes a 5-10 seconds, if that, just to, there we go, just for it to start activating, start working, start bonding those two different pieces of plastic together. I'm actually going to apply it on first. That's another little tip as well, guys. If you do have something that is a little bit more fiddly, and you may think, oh, do you know what, I'm just gonna go get the old super glue out. Pop a little bit on both sort of contact points where you're wanting that to be, and we need to be quick here, I think, actually. 008. Yeah, pop a little bit of it on each side. Leave it for 10, 15, maybe even 20 seconds, and then stick them together and hold them there for, you know, another 30 seconds, a minute or something like that. You're going to get a much, much stronger bond. And what's not going to happen is, you know, arms start to drop down or something like that. It's going to be a much, much stronger bond. And, yeah, again, it'll be significantly better than doing it with... Where do we go, guys? Do we think that goes... Do we want that central? Do you want it up towards the back end? So whereabouts do you think? Do we have it central? Do we have it on one side? Let me know. First one to comment gets it the way they want. Putting this out there, any players that don't want the bare-headed versions of their Rex Cody models, send them our way. I need a lot of... Troll, you can have my bare-headed version. I know you are going for a fully unhelmeted clone army. So I will send you mine and the one from this box your way, buddy. So yeah, just let me know your address and I'll fire them over. Just an excuse for me to get your address, really. Now wait a goddamn minute. Have we messed up? I mean, does it? No, it doesn't make a difference. Okay, we are going to give them, guys, just a minute, just to fully firm up, purely because I don't want to be putting something on top and then have it fold over. So we're just going to pop over to the next part. So it looks like 09, which is going to be this piece here. Is going to go on 10, which is this piece here. Okay, let's pop that there for a second. Click these off and make sure we don't lose them. These little like tower strut things at the top. I'm just calling everything a strut, aren't I, tonight? Absolutely no idea why. So these are going to go in there like so. Okay, so let's grab the other ones off the other box, or the other sprue, sorry. And again, guys, what I'm going to do is not actually glue everything in place straight away. If there's anything that looks like it could be not sub-assembled from a painting perspective, but just maybe gives a little bit of flexibility so you can move it around, you can change the board, that sort of thing. That's probably what I'm looking to try and do. So let's get a good dollop of this on here. Make sure we've got the right. Yeah, there's no particular way that goes in. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. And that doesn't want to go in. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with you? Okay. Oh no, it does go in a certain way. It does go in a certain way. There is one big hole and the rest are smaller. Oh look, we can see that there. I blame Quinn that for not telling me. So there we go. I must have just got it right first time on the other one. So there we go, they're on there, and then we need 11 and 12. They go together. Let's just snip these. Credit where credit's due, I think, to AMG. Like, it isn't the cheapest stuff, but their terrain is really, really good. Like, it's really, really nice. We're going to cut off 13 as well whilst we're at it, because we do need that. Next, we'll build this up and then do the other one. So a little bit of glue, pop some on these parts of the struts as well. Struts, I don't know what on earth is wrong with me tonight, guys. That goes like that. Let's grab the other one. Oh, I did not think about my back when I started doing this. I am turning into a bit of an old man. I'm going to go back over to the comments there and see who is commenting about me being an old man. I'm sure it'll be Quinn calling me a boomer. Ryan and Susan Stewart says, "Hey Rich, hello from South Africa here. Do you foresee your MCP playing taking a backseat because of Shatterpoint, or will you try and take on both systems with equal gusto?" I think it's probably fair to say, Ryan or Rihanna, apologies. I think it's, and first of all, greetings from South Africa. Let me know whereabouts in SA you are, buddy. It's yeah. So I think, you know, I'm still playing MCP even now. I'm actually going over to Copenhagen for the UK team for the WTC in October. But I'm going to be brutally honest. I was getting a little bit of MCP fatigue, and it was purely because there wasn't really anything that had been sort of released recently that was just interesting me. So I'm not entirely sure. Is the honest answer. I think we're going to be doing our live shows every other week. And week 1 it'll be Shatterpoint. Week 2 it will be MCP. Obviously, probably other than, like, you know, big events like I'm trying to think now. You know, May the 4th and that sort of thing. But yeah, we are going to try. We are going to try and cover it equally. So yeah, and you know, they've got some new stuff coming out for MCP as well. You know, we're starting to see that now, which is quite nice. Okay, so there's some little, there's little guide holes for everything on these guys. Like I say, it's been done. You know, I know you can go and buy terrain cheaper elsewhere, but it's just such good quality. So yeah, so the plan is, sorry, I went off track there. The plan is to cover both equally. Obviously Shatterpoint has been getting a little bit more attention on the channel of late, but it's a brand new game. So that was, you know, that was always going to be the case, really. But it's, you know, we're definitely not dropping MCP. You know, MCP is still my first love. But, you know, we are going to be covering Shatterpoint on the channel, as, you know, as you guys have already seen. So, yeah, you know, once new characters get released for MCP, I'm sure I'll get back into that. I'm already about, I think, 40 games in now of Shatterpoint. I'm not saying I'm going to get fatigue anytime soon, because I'm still yet to have a game in person. It's all been done over TTS and predominantly against Quinn and Ron when we've been playtesting things. Just sort of learning the rules so we could do all the rules videos, and we can give you guys answers to questions that you've got and that sort of stuff. But the plan is to still cover both. We're definitely not dropping it, but you might see peaks and troughs with different things. Right, I need some stuff here. 15. See, these bits all came off at the same time, which was very annoying. Okay, so that is 15. Have we got both on here? Okay, I think I've worked out what it is we need. So yeah, but let me know, Brian. What are you playing? Are you playing Shatterpoint? Are you playing? Putting this out there. Any players that don't? Oh no, we've already done that. Far side, not the centre for sure. Troll's gonna have Bear. Yeah. For me, Rex has to have a helmet, man. Like, it just looks so cool with the helmet. Have we messed up? No, I don't think we have. Let's check. I'm about 20 minutes south of Joburg. Thanks for... Oh, mate, not a problem at all. I can see 70-30 in favour of Shatterpoint for a while. Yeah, I think it's just because it's a new shiny thing, right? It is a new shiny thing. So... yeah, it's always, it's new and shiny is always kind of going to take a bit of a limelight. And, we've never, when we started covering MCP, the game was, 2 years old. For us, it's quite exciting to be covering a game, from the very, very first trailer that was released. I remember me and Quinn, I think we were in the middle of a of a weekly bugle. And then the Shatterpoint trailer dropped. We were like, oh my God. We may have even not started it yet. And then all of a sudden this trailer comes out that nobody was expecting. So it's been really, really exciting to be kind of, I suppose, at the forefront of that. Whereas in the past, as I say, MCP was already established. There were already established content creators. And... we were kind of coming into it. So we tried to fill a gap with there. Because what we found with MCP was that, there were so many podcasts talking about min-maxing and what the best things in the world were and everything else. Whereas, we say it on every single video we do when we talk about affiliations and things like that, is the most important thing is for you to have fun. And everything is viable, just like everything will be viable in this game as well. But we want to do some of the things for this. We want to help people get into the game. We want to try and help grow that community. Rich, seeing as you've had a lot of games, what do you think of the rules themselves? Are the movement rules as fiddly as they seem on paper? Anything that a new player should be aware of? I think the rule system overall is very, very good. I think it's very, very good. If you've come from... What I would say is if you've come from an MCP background, some of the rules when it comes to line of sight and cover and that sort of thing are going to be easier to grasp. This game doesn't use true line of sight. Now, there are both pros and cons of that. The pros are there is no grey area whatsoever. Literally no grey area. You cannot get it wrong. Once once you know the rules, it is impossible to get wrong. But it does mean that you end up with some crazy situations. And let me grab what we're going to get here. We're going to get Gandalf. We're going to get Gandalf and Bobber. But it does mean that you can end up with some crazy situations in the game where you know, if we look at this, for example, let's line these up here, and we've got Boba here, and Gandalf is here. Gandalf can shoot Boba, and Boba can shoot Gandalf. Might look a little bit easier, actually, if I lay that down on its side. So it's sort of a top-down view, if you like. So you can end up, as I mentioned, with these crazy situations, whereas if you've got Gandalf up at the top here and Boba here, even though they can't line of sight see each other, they can still shoot each other. So you do get a couple of sort of little... By the way, Mini from a dead game there. You do get some little weird interactions. But to be brutally honest with you, once you get your head around it, there is literally no way of being able to get it wrong. I'll dip my toe into Shatterpoint, but I think MCP will be my skirmish game. That is fair. Neil, you've helped me empty my wallet. You are more than welcome. The most and least Yorkshire way of pronouncing Boba. Thanks. Trying to convince my friend to give it a shot. Coming from Arena Rex, Flames of War, and Kill Team. I think it is a really, really good game. I think it is going to be very, very popular. You know, it's got a couple of really good things going for it. I think, for me, AMG have proven, or should I say, AMG have not only proven that they can build a good game, they've also been, I'm going to say, very loyal to the community as well. To give you an example of you know what AMG have done in the past, there was a real problem with crisis cards in MCP. Crisis cards are just the missions that you play, basically. There was a real problem with them. They were very stale. They were very limited in options. And they were behind, essentially, paywalls. So to access new crisis cards, so to get more missions that you can do, you had to buy certain character packs. Now, some of those character packs were not particularly beloved, or you know, even if they were beloved by somebody else, they may not have been beloved by you. So there was this paywall behind them. They were stale, and just before Christmas last year, they released, I think it was 22, I want to say, but 22 brand new missions, or brand new crisis, replacing all of the old ones. So you weren't missing out on anything whatsoever, completely free of charge to download. So for me, I have that trust in AMG, not only that they are a good studio, they build good games, they build some really good minis. These Shatterpoint minis, by the way, guys, are absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Some of the best I've ever seen. So not only that, but they've also proven via MCP that they are not in it to, you know, milk. Obviously, they're a business, right? But they're not in it to milk every single last dollar out of the community. They recognise that there was a problem. You know, maybe they'd been told a few times, and a certain channel had maybe mentioned it once or twice, and maybe even dedicated an entire video to it. So, you know, it was well known in the community that that was a bit of a problem, and it was causing problems with players who were just finding it stale. Dear Lord, these do not want to stay upright, do they? And they addressed it, and they addressed it for free for the community. That's the big thing. They did it completely for free for the community, which I thought was absolutely amazing. Thought it was really, really good, and just hats off to them for doing it, really. I'm just let's go back over to some comments. Rich, oh no, we've already done that one. As an Armada player, it doesn't always feel that way, but that's more on Asmodee for dropping it in their laps. I would agree to some extent there. Harumph. I think. Sorry, we're just trying to hold this straight whilst we talk. My only concern with all of this is one studio big enough to own two of the biggest IPs in the world in the form of Star Wars and Marvel, if not the two biggest IPs in the world. I'd probably say Pokemon comes a close third. But when it comes to IPs that are out there, they are just absolutely huge. So hang on, have I put the wrong one in? I bloody have, It bloody has. Let's go back. Yep, I have done. That one doesn't go in there. Ha ha ha! We've messed up. Let's grab these ones here. So that is my concern. Now I do know that they've been recruiting. They've been on quite a big recruitment drive, which is good. Very, very positive. Because the team that built MCP, in its infancy, is most definitely not a big enough team to run two big flagpole games like Shatterpoint and MCP. But to your point, they've also got X-Wing. I was going to call it X-Wing versus TIE Fighter then. That was the computer game. That's why it wasn't staying in properly, guys, because it was the wrong size hole. Is it called X-Wing? What's the other shooty fly game called? It is X-Wing, isn't it? I'm not going mad. We're going to let them dry, and we're going to come back to these. So let's pop these on here. That would be my concern, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm still sad. Let me show you my first love. It always made me laugh when I saw loads of Legion players going, oh my god, why on earth would we need a game with miniatures in it that are Star Wars and having two at the same time? And I always throw back at them Imperial Assault. Still, for my money, the best Star Wars game that there is. Absolutely love that game. Still yet to play through all of the campaigns, but I am working my way through them. My thoughts exactly. They haven't given them the resources to support so many products, so priorities have to exist. Of course, they're going to put their own baby above the legacy stuff. I keep hearing that people wanting to make a DC game. Oh, God, no. No, because what you don't want is the same... the same studio, like, making all of the things, because, there's only so much that a single studio can do. Now, don't get me wrong, I would love a proper, skirmish version based around the DC stuff. I do like DC. Best Star Wars game now, mate. That would be Lego Star Wars. I think my son would probably agree with you there, Troll, as well. He does love the whole Skywalker saga that came out recently. Let's say Star Wars miniatures game. You mean Vulture Droid? That's what the Spaceship Minis game is. I think it is Vulture Droid Quinn, yeah. Bloody idiot. So we've got these little strut things. We need to put some other stuff at the bottom of them here as well. So, okay. Again, they're very nice and snug, meaning that you can glue them in very, very easily, which is nice. Let's get this one here. And I am mixing and matching these up a little bit, guys, because you don't want everything to look the same, do you? I've done them the other way around, look. There we go. Intentional. Let's say that, shall we? And then where do these ones go? Okay, and these ones go on the other side. A little bit of glue on that one. Pop it in here. Take that one out and realise you've put it so it's not across from it. There we go. X-Wing is a minis game, but not sure if that was the one you were thinking of. Yeah, it was. Also, I'm just realising how many Star Wars games there are. There are lots of Star Wars games, mate. Absolutely. As there should be. As there should be. Okay, guys, we're on to some ladders. We're going to let them dry before we glue them up. So we've got some Ingress points. Obviously, Ingress points, guys, very, very important in this game. Rules around Ingress points are they have to have at least one bottom and at least one top. If you finish a move being basically anything but a place, so a jump, a climb, a reposition, an advance, what's the other one? Reposition, advance, jump, climb, reposition, advance, dash. There we go. That's the other one. Finish sprue, guys. You finish that movement within range 1 of an Ingress point at the same elevation as you. You can travel to the top of that Ingress point, and then you place yourself within range 1. And it's really, really cool. And there's the potential to build some really, really interesting boards where you can get a huge amount of mobility. Troll just mentioned, or Philip should I say, Swedish Troll, new admin of the Discord, by the way, so welcome Troll to the community. Not community, but welcome to the admin team. Thank you for agreeing to basically pick up the slack because Quinn's useless. But you start at the bottom, so if you finish, I'll show you here. So you finish within range 1, so you make a move, you finish within range 1, you can travel to the top. However, if these ladders did something like this, so let's imagine it was a vine or something, you could go up and choose which one you actually wanted to finish on the top of. So we are going to glue these ladders together because we do want the taller ladders. Let's pop these here a second, and then let's pop these here like that. So we do want these taller ladders. Why am I missing a ladder? Because it's there. And again, we'll give these plenty of time to actually fuse together. Pop them there. What we're not going to do is actually attach them to the board itself. And again, the reason why is I want to give people flexibility so they can choose to have it here. They could even, you could even have had a ladder going here and then another ladder going from here to here. So we want a couple of larger ladders just to give us a little bit of flexibility. But that's all we'll do. We might even, you could even put one at the back like that, and you've got a little bit through there that you can get as well. So lots and lots of flexibility with this, which is really nice. As I mentioned, gives you plenty of options. And you can actually see here, look guys, here we go. If you look at the instructions here, it's showing you all of the different ways that you can finish these off. So with ladders, without ladders, just by itself. So lots and lots of nice options, so we don't end up with, 30 Shatterpoint boards at an event all looking exactly the same, because that would be boring as hell. How are we going to attach this onto here? Does that just go on there like that? Yes, it does. So we do need to give this a little trim. We're going to leave this one built up, but to one side, and we're going to decide in a little bit as to whether or not it is something we are going to actually do. Do you know what, actually, guys? Do you know what? Do we do it? No, I don't think we need to. We are going to leave these as they are. We're going to build the 2 big ladders. But we need to trim this off because we do need this to be a nice flush side here so that it will actually attach properly. Again, because this is a bigger piece that we're attaching, what I'm going to do is get the glue on there. And you can already feel it sort of starts to pull as you do it. And then I'm going to add a second lot on there. And then where I'm going to place it on the actual tower, I'm going to do exactly the same here as well. And that just starts to activate the plastic. It starts to essentially, well, melt the plastic. Just going to leave that for 10 seconds, if that, maybe 20 seconds. And then we'll go and put it on and it'll just bond straight away pretty much. And while we do that, let's take a look at some comments. Given how extensive the MCP terrain offerings are, I'm looking forward to seeing what Star Wars. Yeah, it'll be really good. It'll be really, really good. For an Ewok map base, you could do a rope swing as an ingress point. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I think you can do some really nice thematic things with this. So all we're going to do now is make sure we get that flush at the end there, and we're just going to hold it in place. Again, we only need to be holding it for 10, 20 seconds, if that. And actually what we can probably do to even help us a little bit, we're going to use this other tower here, and that will just keep it, because there's a little lip on there, guys. It'll just keep it at the right level, he says. There we go. Okay, so we're using terrain to hold up other terrain. What's Boba doing there? He can go back now, can't he? Oh, to think as well. I used to love Legion. Okay, guys, so we've got some gantries there done. We've got a couple of towers done. Let's take a look and see what else is in this core box. So let's go back over to the instructions. We are on a tech shield now, it is called. So we need R. Let's go and have a look for our R's. Are these R's? Or are these S's? These are R's. Okay. So we do only get one of these, but that's fine. So we need 1, 2, that's nice and straightforward, isn't it? Again, I like these curve bits. And let me just clip this off here. I do really like the idea of using these to add some really nice detail on some kind of custom built terrain. I think that'll be really nice, and I think you could really easily, make this into kind of like a neon type city thing, you know. I do keep sort of going back and forth with, you know, do I want to do Dathomir? That's one that keeps coming back. Nal Hutta or whatever it is that Quinn said, I can't remember the name. I also really like the idea of doing street level Corazon, which is pretty cool. But I also like the idea of doing a Naboo hangar and having the Naboo starfighters on there as well. So we will have to wait and see, guys, with what we go for. So many options, but I did want to wait until I actually had my hands on the core box, because as I say, I am looking to repurpose the core box and then the 2 terrain packs that I've bought as well, which hopefully one day will arrive. But yeah, the 2 terrain packs as well. So I want to try and repurpose them and put them to some good use. Now, if you were RO1, where would you be? Would you be here? You would be here. You would be here. Just an important thing to mention about the terrain, because it is something, I love a little detailing on there as a little blaster fire that's gone through. It is worth mentioning because it is a big part of the game, is elevation. Now, why is elevation important? Well, let me just grab my range 2 and we're going to bring Boba back in for a little experiment. So, let's take a look at this terrain piece here. Now we can see that terrain from the ground, to put it on the right ground there, is higher than range 2. So a character stood at ground level cannot make a normal move up there. They must use a climb. If, however, that terrain was here, let's pretend we don't have the bottom bit, you'd be able to move over that freely. So really important, especially if you are looking at repurposing Legion terrain. I know there was the talk around, terrain's going to be, you can use it, sort of both ways. I think it's going to be fine doing Shatterpoint into Legion. I would just say, just be very careful when you are going the other way, because you want to make sure that that it's going to be over height too, basically. Any thoughts on the recent rules chat in the official Discord about the place at the end of an ingress being done from above? So as long as it is in range 1, it can be at any height. I mean, it's really weird. We've seen rulings already talking about how movement is done from a top-down view, which MCP is played 2D. You can play MCP with tokens and 2D boxes, so it makes sense. It makes less sense in a game that has elevation, in my opinion. So I'm not a huge fan of it. I would have preferred elevation to mean a little bit more. But, we'll have to wait and see how it plays. Again, once people are used to the rules and things, it will be, it will be absolutely fine. Like I say, I just thought that elevation would have mattered more than what it does, and it kind of doesn't. I was really hoping they weren't going to go down the route of making it a top-down thing, which they have done. And look, it's not going to stop me from playing it, but I would have preferred it if they didn't. I am glad they haven't done like line of sight, true line of sight. I think it's horrible. Seeing fully grown men kneeling down with laser pointers and, looking at it from the view of a, let's say, hobbit, right? Because that uses true line of sight. Whether or not, you can see somebody, I absolutely hate. There's so much, I can see the top of his sword there, therefore I can, sorry guys, I'm getting right in here. I can see the top of his sword, so therefore I can shoot him. I absolutely hate that. So I'm glad with that side of it, but yeah, I'd have much preferred it to have been an ingress point to where that ladder led. Like, if we've got a ladder that goes from there to there, you shouldn't then be allowed to move up to the top there. But, what I would say is I've seen lots of people talk about home, we're going to use this for this and this and everything else. What I will say is it's fine. Play the game however you want, but just be aware that when you do go to sort of not official tournaments, because it's AMG, right? They don't really run tournaments. But when you do go to, events, gaming centres, that sort of thing, and you're playing against people outside of your normal gaming circle, people are going to expect that you use the sort of as written rules. So just be wary of that. I'm waiting for the character pack that cares about elevation for either attacks Maybe that could, you know, I could definitely see needing to be at the same elevation to do X or something like that. How you doing, Samfoot? Yeah, I am a little bit, mate. I am a little bit. I'm losing my voice a little bit. So what I thought I'd do is come and do a live stream where I'm talking for, I don't know how long this is going to be, X number of hours. Yeah, so I have got a little bit of a cold, mate. Thank you for noticing, Ironside. Appreciate it. A good amount of glue on here. Right into that lip. And then once that's on, then we'll just give it all this a nice firm press. We may, he says, if he can find them, get the little clamps out for this one, I think, just to make sure that it is keeping itself where it should be. And then guess what, that's going to fall over now. But that's fine. That's fine. We've got another little clamp here as well. These are great, by the way, guys. If you ever build terrain, like your own terrain and things, these things are just absolutely amazing. You know, you can just put books down or something like that, but these just make it that much easier to do. There we go. Let's pop this to one side for a second, and we'll come back to it in a moment. Let's have a look what is next. Did you get this set from a good B&M, Rich? Of course, mate. I only buy from B&M, and this is from Loyalist Games. So Neil at Loyalist Games, brand new sponsor of the channel. You can probably see in the top corner there. Brand new sponsor of the channel. I'm going to be running all things Shatterpoint for Loyalist Games. We're going to be doing lots and lots of demo things. We're going to be doing loads of really cool tournaments. So yeah, because of that, he was very kind. Their core box arrived yesterday. So he was very, very kind in letting me play around with it. And I think, to be honest with you, he was glad that somebody took the job of building it all for him, basically. So there we go. That looks like it is done now. I like to get a little door there. How does the door stack up to a character size? So there's maybe. I hate it when characters couldn't actually get through doors. Like, it just really, really annoys me. If you can, dude, when you get to them, if you could let me know the diameter, a lightsaber. I'm looking to replace them with acrylic rod rather than paint them. Well, sir, let me go grab Darth Maul. They are very, very thin, like really, really thin. I mean, there's a Stanley knife blade to give you an idea. I mean, they might be a mil and a half at the absolute most, or maybe two, like a mil and a half, 2 mil. They're really not. I mean, I'm saying this, and then I've got this here. So let's have a look. Yeah, they're a mil, mate. They are spot on 1 mil. So if you can get rods that are 1 mil, then they're going to work absolutely fine. And yes, I am painting my minis and my bases separately, just because. So there we go. Judge me all you want. I think the thinnest I've seen are 1.6. Yeah, they might be a little bit too thick then, buddy. They may be a little bit too thick. I'm just going to have to go and open up my window again, guys, because it is getting a little bit stuffy in the old studio office. Let's just pick up on some of your comments before we jump on to the next part. What have we got here? Bases and minis always separate. Perfect, Neil. I like your thing. Diameters vary between characters. Some taper. You're looking at less than 2. Yeah, I mean they're all around about the same size, Rob. If I'm being honest. Yeah, gamey ways of setting up terrain and things. But I suppose, you know, everyone gets access to the same stuff, right? It's just if one side of the board is, you know, heavier than the other one. Good luck finding acrylic that thin. That'll be tricky. Yeah, I think it will. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if you're going to be able to do it, unfortunately. But if you do, let me know. Bases 1, 2, 3. Bases 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement are all the same. No, the bases are different, Dr. Cameron. The standard base size, or what we call small in MCP, is 40mm, and then the larger bases that the B1s are on are 50mm. So they are slightly different. Let's crack on with this. What have we got here next? R7, R8. R7 and R8. R9. Is it R9 and R10 or R6 and R9? Is that going to be over here? It is indeed. R6 and R9. And again, I'm already seeing, as I'm putting this together, that there's going to be lots and lots of different ways that you can build this terrain. So I would highly recommend kind of building individual components, and then once you've got everything, then if you do want to glue it down, just have a play around with it, have a little bit of a mix and match, see what works, see what doesn't work, and then take it from there. So R9, R6, and then, okay, so that's going to be at an angle on that side. Let's get that side in there as well. It's going to be there like that. So, oh no, it's not that side, is it? There we go. Why is it not working, he says. Well, that's a predicament. Or is it just the way that they've done it? There we go. What on earth? Okay, there we go. There we go. Read the goddamn instructions, Rich. Okay, so that goes there like that. Let's pop the glue on this part here and this part here. That'll then go into there like so. But yes, David, to answer your question, all of the range rulers, so not movement but range rulers, are the exact same size as MCP. So they are interchangeable. Unless you've got the MCP ones from Adepticon, which apparently are the wrong size. Which did make me chuckle, especially when people were online trying to sell them for $200. The absolute thieving, scamming, scalping buggers. I hate that. It's one of my pet hates is that. But I don't mind, you know, I don't mind paying a bit. You know, I'd pay $20, $30, $40 for, you know, for like Adepticon exclusive cards and things like that. But when people are putting them up there at like, you know, $200 and things, just absolutely hate it. I think a lot of these people, especially like with, goes on here, Star Wars Celebration. Like I think people pay for their tickets. They get is it the Jedi Master status that people have got, and they can get just enough swag to pay for the tickets, which, you know, I'm not a big fan of. I don't really like it. Let's put this on here. Now, Mr. Dr. David Cameron, are you going to be doing just bad guys, or sorry, just good guys for Shatterpoint, or are you going to mix? Oops, it is. Are you going to mix and match it up a little bit? Let me know. Go back to the comments and I can actually read. Base is different, yeah. Love that Ahsoka is as big as the Terminator from 40k, or at least on the same size base. Have my stores demo copy. That's pretty cool. Do you think we will get more tokens later, like we do with MCP? Yes, because spoiler alert, but I hate the fact that the condition tokens are double-sided. Like, come on guys, we're paying 165 quid for this. Like, I mean, nobody is, right? Everyone's got it on pre-order, but, you know, still, you could at least have sets of tokens. Hey Lexa, good, thank you. Hope you're well. I did get your message, Lexa. Sorry, I've been super busy working on such things, but yes, we will absolutely sort out that demo game for you. Not a problem at all. But yeah, given Dave's track record for MCP, he'll find an excuse if he likes the character enough. Yeah, I don't know what you mean, Quinn. We need not that one. We need these ones here. Is that another full Sprudon, guys? I think it is. So we're not going to be building up the characters on this one, guys. We are just doing terrain. The main reason being is that I've already built them all up. I did it before I played my my game earlier, and the B1s are an absolute bar steward to put together. Okay, so that goes that way round. And we are going to trim this edge off just a little bit, just to clean it up. Again, I will clean things up if I see them as I'm snipping things off and they're going to be on show, but for the most part I leave them and then come back before I prime and, you know, usually get a little file out because I just think it's so much easier on bigger things like this. La-di-da-di-da. Pop that in there. We then need R15, which I think is going to be this here. Yes, it is. And like things like this, like, you know, leaving this separate just gives you, you know, because why? There's no reason why that couldn't be there, right? Like, it just gives you so much flexibility with how you can build these. I do like that they've gone for the more modular rather than what they did previously with MCP, which was fine, by the way, absolutely fine. You know, you didn't get a huge amount of terrain in that box, but that box is significantly cheaper than the Shatterpoint box. So I do like that they've given us some flexibility. And I like the fact that it's quite, you know, it could be anywhere, right? Like I said, I'm thinking about doing mine and having it sort of built into a rock face. So I do like that it is, you know, quite flexible like that. You know, it's not Tatooine or it's not Naboo or something like that. Let's snip this off as well. This is not Gar Saxon's shield, by the way. Okay, how are we doing this? Oh, this is one of those stupid up and down ones, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay. Do they have to be a certain way, or can they be any way? Let's have a little look. Okay. Looks like they can be. Anyway, let's catch up on some things. Is there... where did we just see that then? I just saw something about magnetizing. I would say potentially. I do think it's something you could do. I don't see any problem in doing that. I won't be. I've got neither the time nor the patience to be able to do that. The fact that Rich cuts towards himself with that knife causes me a lot of stress. Mate, I was a chef for years. I can handle a knife, mate. As Mick Dundee said, that is not a knife. This is a knife. Oh, I hate these little bits that are like this. Let's get it underneath there. Let's get a good blob of glue on. Now, where's this going to attach onto? Okay, so it's going to be that side by the looks of it. Okay, so that's fine. Famous last words was, yeah, cutting towards yourself can be the only way to make a cut sometimes. Perfectly safe if you're careful. Absolutely. But did you turn up for that shootout? Wrong film, but I do appreciate the... I do appreciate it. Right, these only go one way, which is that way, so that's fine. Let's pop some glue on these little bits here. So yeah, so apologies, I can't remember who it was. I sort of lost the message in all the messages, but whoever it was that asked if you could magnetize them, there's definitely some potential. But I think things like this, you know, you're really not going to be able to get away with magnetizing that, right? You're not going to be able to have it where you snap it on. I just don't think the magnets are going to be strong enough, I would say. So yeah, just so like, in fact, let me show you this now actually, because this is a really good example of where you could magnetize something. Oh, we want that pointing up a little bit, don't we? Like, you don't have a satellite dish pointing down. There we go. So these two are designed to go on the end of here, so they sort of slot into place there. Now, to be fair, they're quite flush. They're quite good without any magnets, but you could easily, he says, and then realizes there's actually nowhere underneath. They're all hollow, so maybe not. Like, maybe not. But these two sort of go on here like this, so you got some flexibility. But even they've even put like a little fan duct vent on there as well. So if you do leave it, just there, you do still have something there that's, you know, nice and pretty to look at. So yeah, you can either have it there, you can have it with the satellite dish, or you can have it with the computer terminal. And as I mentioned, you know, the terminal, that's pretty decent. I do like that. That'll go really good with the Imperial Assault. Oh, right. Guys, we're going to take a really, really quick break. I just need to go and fill my water bottle up. So I'll be right back. Go get a drink, guys. Do whatever it is you need to do. I'll be back in 2 minutes, and I will see you back then, and we'll finish the rest of this terrain off. Okay guys, we are back. Of course I didn't get water, of course I got Cherry Pepsi Max. And I have just been going over the instructions again, because I was like, what on earth are these used for? These, I messed up guys. These are actually the end parts of those gantries, those walkways that we did. I thought for some reason they were sort of walls to go alongside them, but they're not. So let's clip all of these off, and we can then finish off the walkways, and then we'll get on to the last building, guys. And then we'll have a play around with it, look at some different layouts and things, see what you can do with it, show you the sort of flexibility, and show you the reasons why I don't think you want to be gluing sort of your final terrain piece down. Storage, it's going to be much, much easier if it's modular. And B, you can just mix and match it up. You can, change the map around every single game. Now, the rules of I know I said MCP then, the rules of Shatterpoint do actually state that the terrain only goes down once the map has been selected. Now, it's not very important right now in the game because there is only one map. I don't mean the actual struggle cards themselves or the phase cards. I mean the map that we use. So right now, it is literally 4 in from each side, and then 5. It's either 4 or 5 in, and then 4 or 5. Basically, 9 equal dots that are separated apart. But once we do get some more maps, which hopefully shouldn't be, shouldn't be too long, right? It shouldn't take too long for them to build some maps or put some more map packs in. It'll be interesting to see how they do them. Will they be in character packs, or will they be a mission pack? Mission pack, that's the word I'm looking for. Then it will be important because your terrain will differ, because you need to make sure that. Why are these not going on there? Okay, they do go on there. Okay, cool. So yeah, you need to make sure that that your terrain can fit the scenarios or the map that you're playing, because objectives should be at the highest possible elevation. So that's how we put them out there. So it should never be underneath a piece of terrain. Now then, have we got 2 different ones here? We do have 2 different ones here. Of course we do, Rich. What you're doing there is not looking for a change. So, yeah, it is going to be important. Now, I think what will probably happen is the terrain will be out on the board, and then you'll just make some minor adjustments to it as and when the new mission packs come out. So it's not that important right now, but it could be potentially in the future. So we've got that one that side, this one this side. Put the chat back on while I'm doing this. To be fair, Rich, all descriptions on your Shatterpoint video. And do you know this one doesn't, or this one shouldn't? I did change it. None of the pre-recorded ones do, but you're right. The live ones could just pull from the last live thing that you did, and I forgot, and I realised on this one, so I did go in and change it. Early starts are going out, Rich, but enjoyed the video and appreciate the comment. Oh mate, not a problem at all. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciated. Put these on there, and I think these are going to be really important to add a little bit of structural integrity to these here. So it may be that you do want to put them on. So yeah, but we'll take a look at that as and when we get to it. Let's do this here. So see, I get to make all these mistakes, guys. Or not mistakes. What does Bob Ross call them? Happy little accidents so you don't have to. There we go. That's what we do on this channel, guys. It's all for you. I'm lying. It's all for the clicks, right? We know that. All about those clicks. Absolute click whore. Well, that's what some people on the internet would have you believe. So they look a little bit better, don't they, with those extra parts on there. Let's just do this last one, and then we will get onto that last building. And then, as I say, we'll have a play around. We'll see what looks good, see what we can do with it. See if we want to glue any other parts together. But again, I do like the idea of as little being glued down as possible so that you can just have that added flexibility with them. Okay, right, let's start to sort through these sprues because we have got a lot of empty sprues here. Make sure we don't throw the one away with the low. I'm going to call it a low cat. I know it's not a low cat, but that's just what I'll call it. Right, what are we on to next? I think we've got the final building, and then I'll just move these over here a second, push all this stuff back just to give me a little bit of workspace. So let's pop back over. I mean, you are the second best Shatterpoint player. I mean, you are the second best Shatterpoint player. Has nothing to do with clicks, right? Exactly. Am I the second best Shatterpoint player? I mean, according to Longshanks, maybe, but I'm sure there are people out there that would argue against that. Phil, look at me now calling you Phil. It's not even Sunday. Okay, on to the last one. This is the vent building. Oh, my back. I am becoming an old man. Or it feels like it anyway. I'm 40 in January, guys. 40 years old and still playing with little toy soldiers. Very happy with myself. So, let's take a look. What have we got here? Now, that's just come off there, so we'll just pop that to one side. 1, 3, and 6. What a great place to start. That is 3. So let's grab ourselves that. Level of detail that are on these guys as well that, you know, in the past would have been all extra bits that you had to glue on and things and stuff like that. What they're able to do now in a single printer AMG is so far superior to what it was when they first started out. What do we say we needed? 1, 3, and 6. I think that's 6. Grab ourselves this. This is another doer. Yes, I said doer. I am Yorkshire, as you probably tell. Clip this off here and here. Oh, that does not want to come off. There we go. Oh, and one more there. And then I'm assuming that this is 1. It is indeed. Okay, do we need to trim any of these edges? I don't think we do. So 3 is there. 1 is there. Okay, that's nice and easy. Let's get some glue on here. This side. All the way down to the bottom. That's going to go there like so. Again, I think you could actually, you know, you could mix these up and do them different ways round. So that's going to be on there. And then 6 is going to go on this side here. The door is on that side. Opened up a brand new pot of cement for this, guys, as well. Treating you all. So let's get this on. Oh, okay. Let me get down and have a look at this. Make sure it's all lined up properly. Nobody wants a wonky building. There we go. We need 7 and 10. Where's 7? This is 7. SO7. And 10. And this is 10. Conveniently next to each other. Okay, so 10 is going to go up here like so. So let's get some glue on that first. Gonna have to be quick because that is bent. But once we get this roof on, it should work itself out. That won't be completely dry yet, that glue. Okay, let's just move this ever so slightly. Let's get good amount of glue again on here. And as I mentioned, guys, if you're using this poly cement, once it's on, that is it. These things are never coming apart. He says, and Quinn will remember the first time I turned up at Element Games and yeah, dropped all of my minis and had a couple of dead ones, which was not fun. Interesting. So why is this not playing ball? Does that need to slide in? Should that be another slide? Do we think? No, there's no slide on there. Okay, I can see now there's some little grooves where it needs to go in. There we go. So that's repositioned that nicely. We need 2 and we need 5. I'm assuming they're going to be these 2 big ones here. Boop a boop 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 doop. No, that is going to be 4. So this is 2. What did I say I needed? 2 and 5. Don't know why I'm asking you guys, because there's a delay on this. So like, by the time any of you have answered me, this is 5 here. Potentially I've already found it, but never mind. Never mind. Also guys, if you are wondering what to do with all of your sprues, make some sprue glue. It's actually really good for filling in any little gaps and things that you've got in terrain. You can use it on minis as well, bigger minis I would say. But yeah, it's really, basically you just, when you're near the end of your Tamiya cement, you just chop up a whole bunch of sprues and leave them in there for a day or 2, keep giving it a stir, and yeah, you get yourself some cheeky sprue glue. So this is going to go on here like so. So let's again, and again this will all help with reshaping it and making sure it's sort of square and things once we get the extra part on. So glue at the top there. There we go. Pop that in. Hold it tight. You can see there it's all squared up. I want to hold this one in place just for, again, 10-15 seconds, just to make sure that it's all squared off and there's no bits sort of hanging off or anything like that. That looks pretty good. And then 5, okay, so that's going to go over here like so. Interesting. And then down the side, so we need glue here. And again, you want to try and make sure it's across every contact point, just to make sure you don't have any bits that are not glued down fully, especially at the edges, you know, right at the bottom of things, because that's where they could potentially come off. So again, give that some pressure. And make sure that that's nicely in place. Just grab that from the other side there. Again, that looks like it is to me. And then this part here is then going to attach into there. And this is where we find out if it's all straight or not. Oh, again, sorry guys, my back is absolutely doing one tonight. About what we're doing this, let's open up the comments and check what's everyone saying. Oh, Sean, apologies, mate. If I missed you before you left, apologies. I didn't have the chat open. As I mentioned, I'm swapping between the instructions and then the chat itself. So apologies, but thank you for joining us, Sean. Hopefully you found it interesting, and we'll catch you on the next one. Okay, guys, I am getting glue everywhere. So then let's line this up. Let's get this on with some snap points in here as well. So make sure we're all lined up. I didn't even take a part of that sprue off. Oh my word. There we go. There we go. And again, let's just go for it from this side here. We just want to make sure that we are just holding that in, making sure that it sort of, you know, you can see it sort of pulls away there a little bit. Pull that bit in at the top, just to make sure that it's all lined up nicely. But that bit there needs a little bit of love, I think. Let's have a quick mop up of this. Again, it's fine. Once the paint goes on, you will not be able to tell. According to Longshanks, I'm better than Quinn. Not just according to Longshanks, mate. According to everyone. Although Quinn is sick at Shatterpoint, is the rumours. They are the rumours. While that's drying, guys, let's just snip off the rest of all of these things. We should be able to work out where everything is going now. Oh, that's white. Absolute numpty. Oh, and guys, yeah, I don't know how long we've been going. How long have we been going, guys? Because, as I mentioned, this old man is struggling with his back. It's also getting very warm in here again, even with the window open. That's what happens when you have a PC on and loads of light so that people can actually see what's going on. Got some nice vents here as well. I also want to show you these guys as well, just while that's drying a little bit. I also picked up some really nice little bits here. Sunset Tower terrain, if you're in the UK. Really cool little vents and things like that. So if you are looking to make your own, they've got some really nice stuff. They even do like doors and windows and things that can open and close as well. So again, just show you this, adding a little bit of extra thematic there. So this is like a shutter door. You can go up, you can go down. Now, it was Legion scale. I think they are going to be a little bit too small for MCP, but all the other bits are going to be, sorry, Shatterpoint, but all the other bits are going to be absolutely fine. So that is an abandoned Legion project that they were for. So they will be repurposed for the Shatterpoint. Anyone know if there's any benefit in getting multiple terrain sets? 100% 7th Flame. We're going to show you at the end, and we've sort of been showing along here all of the different options as to how you can actually have these built. So I would say definitely, you know, for me, I am going to be looking at getting a couple of sets. As I mentioned already, I am getting the... that only goes one way. I am getting the other two that have been released or announced, but I am going to be using them as part of scratch builds. Can you consider them scratch builds if I'm using some of these as well? But I want to make a couple of nice boards. So I'll be using some of these parts to add some extra level of detail into some of the other boards that I'm building. So yeah, definitely, you know, you're not going to be wasting your money if you are. These could even be optional, I suppose, if you didn't want them in. Question: do events go up or do events go down? Leave your answers on a postcard, guys. Let me know what you think. Up or down for vents? Now, my thought process is they should be up, because then whatever's coming out goes up. But let me know what you think. So the missions don't have a set location. You kind of pick the objective spot. No. So the missions, Seventh Flame. Let me grab, because I've got all the official cards now, guys. Let me show you these. So what are we looking at? Here we go. So shifting priorities. So in the core box, every single map is going to have these 9 objective points on them, but not all of the objectives are going to be active at the same time. So if we look at this phase 1 card, for example, on this one, it's like a cross. On this one, it's going to be sort of, well, that shape, and then you've got the other one that's the opposite, and they swap and change for every different phase of the game that you're on. So you always know where the objectives are going to be. You just don't know where the active objectives are going to be. So you just need to make sure that when you're building your terrain boards that you've got some flexibility in there. The objective spots are set. Yeah, there we go. That's exactly what I said. Let's see how they do it and see if I am in agreement. It looks like they've gone down. It does look like they've gone down. I'm going to hold on a minute and see what you guys say, and just glue the other parts in first, because yeah, I'm not convinced that I want them pointing down, but we will see, won't we? Bit of glue around this side here. Keep forgetting that I'm on camera. Let me know, guys, as well. Do you guys enjoy this sort of thing? I often just, sit at home and hobby alone, and it's been really nice getting to chat to you guys and interact with you guys as we've been doing this. So I hope you guys have found it interesting as well. But let me know in the chat if you do, and we'll try and do more of these. We are hopefully going to be doing some hobby streams as well. We may even do one tomorrow night, once we finish the weekly bugle, because we are doing the weekly bugle tomorrow. Okay, so they fit on there just nice and tight. Let's get a bit of glue on this one, bit of glue on this one. For me, it's down because it's how the old blinders worked in school. Blinds hadn't been invented, mate, when I was at school. There we go. So that sort of caps the end of the building off. We've then got this here. Yeah, that was question how the extra terrain purchase kits can fit with the objective cards. Thanks. I see the dots. Do you just break up the board into a grid regardless of where the terrain is placed? Yeah, so you know the map before you place the terrain. So, that's not always going to happen. So you might have to just move terrain around a little bit, just to cater for where the objectives are. Again, right now it doesn't matter because all the objectives are in the same place, but as the game changes, as we get more missions, that will change along with it. Should I give everyone who's got any sort of ADHD, and put one up, one down? Or would that just send Troll over the edge? What do you think, Troll? Seeing as it reminds him of school, let's put them down there like that. There we go. There we go. We've got some other little bits in here as well, guys. We finally have MCP news. So yeah, a bugle with actual news. Exactly. So we also get a bunch of other scatter stuff as well, guys. So we get all these crates here. So just because I'm a completionist, let's get these out. Again, if you wanted to, you could glue these to be bigger size crates, you know, so sort of 2, 3 stacked up on top of each other or whatever it is. I personally think they're best left as scatter terrain, and again, you can put them then wherever you want, change the board up every single time. Remember as well with terrain, guys, you have to be able to fit your entire base over the terrain to be able to be stood atop of it. So a crate like this, for example, the characters are not going to be able to stand atop, but if you did place 2 or 3 next to each other, then that's potentially possible. Thanks for putting together the models. This will be my first time doing something like this. Oh mate, not a problem at all. Look, what I would say is if it is your first time doing this sort of thing, just don't take everything off the sprue at once. I mean, these are fairly straightforward, but, you know, don't take everything off the sprue at once. Only cut off the bits that you need as and when you need them, and keep something nearby. Keep a little tub nearby for any little bits that come off. You know, when I was doing these, there were some other bits that were attached to parts of the sprue that I needed to get to, and when you cut them off, you know, they came off as part of that. So take your time, make sure that everything goes in the right place, only cut off what you need. And he says cutting off every single box, but we know how boxes go together. Yeah, have fun with it. And like I said, just make sure, guys, that you are using plastic glue. Please, please, please don't use super glue to put these together. They'll just not be anywhere near as good. So these little boxes, or crates, shall we say, fit together really nice and easy like that. So all we're going to do is try and hold them in such a way. So we're going to do corner and corner. So we're going to go here and here, and then we're going to go on the top part of here, meaning that we don't put glue all over our hands. And then they simply just stick together like so. So let's speed through these, and then we'll take a look at all the extra little bits that we get as well, because there are still some other things in here that we haven't opened up yet, and I'll show you how they work and what you can do with them. So, you know, if you had 3 of these, for example, like that, even then you couldn't actually stand a character on them. You would probably need 4, but they would only be elevation 1. So you can move directly over them without impeding your movement, which is nice. What is that? Do you know what that is? That is brown paint coming off my hands because I was painting earlier, or spray painting earlier outside, should I say. Can you lay down a primer? I never would. And the reason why is, first and foremost, I don't believe in painting on sprues. I don't think you should do it. You end up with all of these little, you know, all the parts where you cut them off, they're going to be grey parts. So on all of those parts, the paint isn't going to take as well. You know, so all these little connecting points here, when you come to snap them off, or you need to trim them down, you know, you might want to get rid of the mold lines, that sort of thing. It's just not going to look good. So I would always assemble first. Now you can sub-assemble, absolutely, But I would always assemble, take off the sprue, always assemble. Just because otherwise, like I say, you end up with those little grey bits that, you know, the primer doesn't, the paint doesn't stick to properly because there's no primer on there. I just don't think, you know, for me, I just don't think they look as good. I know some people paint on sprues, you know, it is each to their own, but that is just my personal preference. I just don't like doing it. I just don't like it. I hate painting on sprues. It's horrible and it gets everywhere. I don't have my soundboard because I'm not on my computer. I'm missing my soundboard, guys. What else can we talk about Shatterpoint wise? Really exciting to see official releases now for Dooku and other such things like that. So that's going to be good. Already been playing a lot with Dooku. Already maybe my favourite primary in the game. Closely followed by Asajj. I think she is an absolute beast. Glyn, good morning, afternoon, evening, buddy. Hope you are well. We are actually giving away, guys, as well. We're giving away the little diorama pack. I always forget the name of it. I'm sure Troll will let you all know. But we are giving one away. We're going to give one away when we get to 5,000 subscribers. So, I mean, I very much doubt you'll be here if you haven't subscribed. Because I didn't put notifications out anywhere other than the Discord. But make sure you are subscribed. But more importantly, guys, make sure your subscription is visible. If I can't see your subscription, I do not know that you have subscribed. If I don't know you've subscribed, you don't get added into Richard's Magic Wheel and have your name put in the hat to get that really cool new Shatterpoint box. It makes no difference, guys. Like, you know, it doesn't give me anything extra if it's visible. It just means that if it isn't, I don't know you're there. So therefore, when I export a list of subscribers, you're not added in the list. So if you want to make sure that you are added in, go to your subscription page and make sure it's set to public. And then I can see it and it'll make sure you are added in once we get to that 5,000 subscriber mark, which I can't believe I'm saying, guys. It is absolutely crazy to think how quickly the channel has grown over the past year or so. I remember when I saw an old post. I saw a post from two years ago, and it was my 111th subscriber. And anyone who's seen Lord of the Rings will know what we mean by that. But that was a monumental one for me, and the fact that we've almost breaking the 5,000 subscriber mark now is, yeah, absolutely crazy. So you've seen there, guys, I've been cutting off the other ladders. We've got lots of other ladders. I've got the two long ones. I'm going to leave these ones all as shorter ones. What these are now are the supports for the gantries, for the walkways. They're optional. You don't need to have them in there, but if you do, you might just want a, not a floating platform, but just a platform by itself. So this is how you would do that. So I'm going to glue these together as well, and I'll show you how that works. And then I think that's it, other than the cat, obviously finishing on the cat. And then we'll show you what it all looks like. And then I'm going to go bed. I'm going to go bed, yeah. There we go. Big shout out to all the Patreon supporters as well. Thank you to all of you supporters on Patreon. It really does help, right? I was in the gaming store the other day. I was buying things and I was like, I don't even like these characters and things like that. But because we cover them all on the channel, we do make sure that we've got everything. It also helps us, do all the things that we do. So all the giveaways and everything like that we do. We've got our monthly giveaway on for Patreon subscribers as well. And then he's just working out how the hell these go in together. Is one of these bent? Is that what it is? There we go. There we go. So that's one of your struts. Again, I'll show you how they work in a second. I bought Star Wars X-Wing and then realised I have nobody to play with. Oh, Captain Jack. You should be able to find somebody, buddy. Is there... I'd just check, like... I mean, Longshanks is a great place to go and see what tournaments are running and where there's active scenes. You know, there's also the online scene for a lot of these games now as well. You know, Shatterpoint on TTS is already taking off, you know, big time. You know, people, you need to go out there and buy the games as well, because, you know, if we don't support, you know, I nearly said FFG then. If we don't support AMG, then they can't make any more games. But, so, you know, make sure you do support them, make sure you do buy the products as well. But if you bought the product, then hell yeah, go and have a game online as well. So it looks like we only get 4 of these struts, which I did see somebody complaining about, and I kind of get it. Like, once again, for the amount of money that we're paying for the game, you know, they could include, you know, they could include some extra stuff in there for us. We've got the cat to do. There we go. Cat, and then that's it, guys. A little look at snippety snip. Little ones, just always make sure you hold on to them. I've had it so many times where they just fly off onto the floor, never to be seen again. Will this only go in one way? I hope it does only go in one way. Ooh, matron. Okay, it does only go in one way. Brilliant. Where did I put my goddamn glue? There we go. Like a right little addict then, didn't I? So tools are wire cutters, plastic glue, and a box cutter with a dose of patience. Yeah, 100%, mate. And again, order it. You can buy it on Amazon or your local gaming store. Tamiya Cement, 100% the best one that's out there in my honest and humble opinion. Because that's what I'm known as, guys, being humble. Look at me dropping the bloody cat everywhere, aren't I? And then try to put it in the wrong way. There we go. So where does this little fucker's head go now? It's quite late into the video. We're allowed an F-bomb, aren't we? Okay. There we go. Just hold it in place. That is a crazy looking cat. Let's put his head around a little bit. There we go. We're doing his head slightly tilted. I like it. He's got, you know, he's got a little bit of character about him. Right, guys, let's just quickly check up on some of the chats. Brute force and ignorant. It comes with a diorama piece, Obi-Wan and Vader, you can use in both game. You can indeed, yes. Was there a correct way to build the terrain gantries platforms? Yes. So you essentially need the 2 middle bits and then the 2 end bits. They're all, there's only one way they can go, Glyn. So I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. So the way that these things work, apparently they go and like stick in here and they stick in here. So you can see the little lip there that they go on, and then you get to the other side and then it basically stands up. But again, guys, I don't want to glue these down because I don't want to be, I think they even showed them like this. So you can have them like this if you wanted. Oh, my word, Rich, come on, sort yourself out. Sort yourself out, son. Oh, please don't tell me that's how they do it. No. Oh, maybe it's the other one. Is there another one? No. Oh, I don't like that. So the feet only go one way. I know it's a little thing, but the feet only go one way. That's really annoying. Okay, guys, let's have a quick look at what we've got here then now. I still haven't put these on the sides. I'm in two minds as to whether we do or not. But we've got I think they called it the satellite building. You've got options on here for the terminal. You've got an option on here for a satellite. I quite like the terminal on there, so let's pop that on there like so. Make sure that you can see it, Rich, for God's sake. How many ladders did we get? We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 ladders. We've glued 2 together so that we can have them up against the side of a building like this. Again, I'm not going to be gluing this sort of thing down. I like the idea of them being modular and flexible, and I think it just makes for a much better gaming experience when you can mix and match things up. We've got our walkways here, so these really easily slot onto the side. And again, guys, I've done these as like the standard that they've said. There's nothing to stop you like building much bigger ones of these and doing them, you know, 6 wide or whatever it may be. You could then put the sort of gantry in the middle bit. Let's zoom out a little bit, guys, just so we can see a little bit there. So let's put this here like so. We can then have our flashback on. There we go. We can build this out here. So it comes to the side. Whoa. You could even, guys, if you wanted, there's absolutely nothing stopping you building some sort of monstrosity like this as well, right? That's absolutely more than possible. So I absolutely love all of the flexibility that we've got in this. I think it's really, really cool. You know, we've got all the ladders that we can put up here as well. We've then got all the extra little boxes and things. We've got his cat, so we're happy that we've got a cat. So yeah, and you know, you can have these at right angles, so you could have, you know, one of these attached to here, let's say, and then another one attached here, like so. So yeah, lots and lots of different options, guys. You know, we've got all of this other scatter terrain in here as well. We've got these bits, these little girder bits for the sides. They probably need to go on. I don't like that you can't then push people off. Or, you know, maybe we put them on, you know, maybe we only put them on certain parts. So maybe they go, you know, sort of just on these middle bits here. You know, that could be a thing. Because I think they will add some additional structural integrity to them as well. I think you can actually have them facing in or indeed out. So they can go out and they can go in as well. These will also go on the ends of these raised platforms as well. So everything's really interchangeable. There's a really decent amount of terrain here, I would say, to get you going, to, you know, have some games. I think there's more than enough here so that you're not getting bored. I would probably say that for a tournament, so for, you know, if you're actually going to be playing, you know, ranked game in a tournament, that sort of thing, you probably do want to look at having a little bit more terrain. Remember as well, guys, that there is some bullshittery in this game. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look. And let's say that we had our terrain set up like so, which is perfectly fine, perfectly legal. Let me go and grab the movement tool a second. We have to remember, guys, we're going to bring Legion Boba back, that if Boba is on here, he can make a jump to any one of these using a normal movement tool. So that's one thing that you may want to think about when you're building it, because there's nothing stopping Boba from going down here like this with just using a normal move action. Guys, I'm going to jump back over to the other camera and I'll just give you some final thoughts, and just if you've got any other questions or anything like that, we can go through and answer them as well. So give me a second, I'm going to jump back over. Hey guys, we're back. There we go. Sorry, I was just moving things out of my way. What does TTS mean? TTS is Tabletop Simulator. It's about a $10, $15 app. You can buy it through Steam. You run it on your PC. But we've done a couple of live streams, so you can go and check that out. Let's have a look. Nothing has made me more annoyed trying out one of the TTS maps where there's no ingress points in the middle. Absolutely. I see the bridges are sticking with Star Wars lore and have no rails. Absolutely. Absolutely. 3x3 board measuring is with tools, so no need for squares or hexes. I don't know if that's a question or a statement, Spud, but you are absolutely right. It is not a hex-based game. I don't know if somebody asked that question. So if I did, thank you for answering. So yeah, no need for hexes or anything like that. Also, does anyone know what battle maps to use on near-pre maps? Does it have to be squares? Oh, okay, right, there we go. Yeah, so Seventh Flame, all you need is a 3x3 playing surface. You don't even need a mat, right? You can tape out 3x3 on a tabletop, and you could just use cardboard boxes, right, to play this game. It feels nicer when it's a bit more thematic when you've got other things. No. So Spud, not a problem at all, buddy. Not a problem at all. So yeah, you don't need any sort of special mat or anything like that. You can use a plain mat. I actually build mine. I build mine on a what's the word? God, I build mine on a board. So I actually use wooden board for mine. And I like to build terrain into it and things like that. So you can use absolutely anything for it. What kind of glue is needed? Plastic or super glue? Plastic glue, Danger Man. Plastic. Plastic glue every single time. Super glue is not going to give you a strong bond. It will come apart eventually. If you drop it, things like that. So yeah, use plastic glue. Tamiya cement is really good if you're looking for something. That's kind of nice, not needing a hex map. You can really build some beautiful maps. Oh, absolutely, yeah. There's some, we see some really nice maps in MCP. I'm sure Shatterpoint is going to be exactly the same as well. Guys, we're going to leave it there. It is midnight here in the UK. I'm a very tired Rich, as you can probably see. So we're going to leave it there. We've been on 2.5 hours. Thank you for joining me whilst we've been building this. Hopefully you guys have found it useful. We went through some of the questions as well. We do have a whole bunch of minis to paint. I'm probably not going to get through them all, at least anytime soon. But we will be potentially doing another live stream tomorrow night. I may even put up a little poll, so make sure you check out either on Discord or on not Patreon, the other one, or the YouTube community part. I'm gonna put up a little poll, and you guys can vote on what miniature you'd like to see me paint tomorrow night, or attempt to paint tomorrow night. So we're going to leave it there, guys. Thank you for everyone that has joined us. Again, big shout out to all of our Patreons who support us and help us to be able to create this content. Shout out to Neil and the rest of the team at loyalist Games for sponsoring the channel. Let me move my camera back up there so we can see Darth and Maul in all their glory. And until next time, guys, take care, stay safe, and may the Force be with you. Bye for now.